Welcome back everyone to another Yugioh opening. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We've always been doing some pack openings from these booster boxes that I've been picking up consistently throughout the days, but today we are going to review some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So a little bit of backstory. I've been posting these YouTube videos and, people have been watching, and a friend of mine who just started recently watching saw that I was opening cards and, he was like, where are my cards? Let me find them at home in the garage. And he did. And he sent me pictures of the cards, and I was honestly shocked at some of the cards that he still had. Got a little bit too excited and asked if I could maybe look at the cards for a video and maybe just to get an idea of how much these cards could be worth as of today, 2021 versus when he was probably playing back in like 2000, 2002. So we're going to go through each of the cards and we'll go through some of them pretty quickly. I don't know, I'd have to look some of these up, but I have a general sense of what some of these cards could be worth. But we'll take a look at the comments first. This might be a bit of a longer video, but I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure if you are enjoying these types of content, like and comment, let me know. If you want to see more videos like this, I'll try and find some other people's collections. I know I have some other people looking just to see what these could be possibly worth. But first, we'll start with the comments. And you'll see it's already like, I was already, I've seen this collection and I've looked through it a little bit, but we have LOB Misaki, the Legendary Swordsman, first edition. It is just a common, but at least, these commons nowadays, first edition PSA 10 could, net you like $100 that people would be buying. So obviously this card probably isn't a PSA 10, but it's just worth noting that, these are how old the cards are, and some of the cards that he still has would still be very valuable. So Misaki, again, Gearfried the Iron Knight from starter deck, Joey, first edition, Type 0 Magic Crusher, first edition, Pharaoh's Servant, Wabaku, Just Desserts, Gravekeeper's Retribution, Mask of Weakness, Jam Defender, Blue Eyes, Toon, Dragon, first edition, starter deck Pegasus. Back in the day, there was starter deck Yugi, Kaiba, Pegasus, Joey, and I think a lot of the kids had, those cards. So let's just keep going. Spirit of Flames, Dragon, another one from starter deck Pegasus, Toon Summon Skull, first edition, Illusory Gentleman, the King of Yamamakai, Monster Reborn, a card that we all know very well from starter deck Yugi, some Dian Kitos, Black Pendant, MST, Dark Hole, another Monster Reborn, Toon World, again from starter deck Pegasus, Just Desserts, Enchanted Javelin, again another first edition Pharaoh's Servant, obviously not in the mintiest condition, but still nice of these common cards. So those aren't the only cards, so I've just split them up into the rarity. So we have his rares. Now it's gonna get more exciting obviously because the commons are not worth as much value as some of these other ones are, but we have the Morphing Jar number 2, a rare from Pharaoh's Servant, not bad. Senju of the Thousand Hands, first edition from Magic Ruler, that's always very good. In my opinion, any first edition from those OG sets are always going to be worth, at least a couple dollars, even more depending on the quality. Mad Sword Beast, again, first edition from Pharaoh's Servant, rare. We have a Shift, Unlimited, Royal Oppression, first edition from LOD, Legacy of Darkness, I think. Fatal Abacus, another first edition. So you can see he has a little bit of first editions from some of the OG packs. I actually don't know what FET is. That's a new one for me, but it's EN, so I know it's a different type of special packs that they released. Magic Reflector, Spiritualism, Prohibition, first edition from Pharaonic, Pharaoh's Servant as well. Mask of Brutality, Legacy of Nightmares, and look at this, Stop Defense, first edition, LOB, rare. Now even some of these rares, I think graded PSA 10 are worth at least a couple hundred, so that's always pretty cool. You know what, let's just take a look at the condition of this one just to see what it's like. So I mean, you can see the shine, it looks pretty good. Obviously we have a little bit of a ding on the corners here, but for the most part, I mean, it looks pretty good. No, I don't see any like cracks or anything, but yeah, we do have that little ding here on the right side. You can see right there. And then maybe if we look in the back, is it minty? I mean, yeah, we have a little bit of, you know, little dings here, little dots. I mean, that's to be expected, especially when you're young and you, even though you sleeve them, you do play with them a lot. So there's a lot of movement. And I think I would say this is still pretty good. Like, I would say light play, but still a pretty good card to have. I mean, considering that it was in the garage and, you know, when you were young, you were playing with them as well. The fact that they were this condition is not too bad. Sword and Shield from Metal Raiders, another first edition. Nobleman of Extermination, Monster Recovery, and another LOD rare Grave Digger Ghoul. Honestly, oop, just hit the camera there. But you know what? This is some pretty sick stuff. Let's get into the more valuable stuff. We'll move on to the super rares. You know, this is also a good education for you guys to know the different rarities. Back in the old days, it was very simple. Nowadays, there's just a lot of different ones, but we have Catapult Turtle from Metal Raiders, Unlimited. Dust Tornado, Pharaoh Servant. Look at that, so beautiful. Tribute to the Doomed. I think, so this one we'll look at in a bit. Graceful Charity, one of the most OP cards back in the day. Just to be able to just draw 3 and put 2 in the graveyard was pretty sick. That's also first edition. Revival Jam, Flute of Summoning Dragon, Scapegoat first ed from starter deck. Joey, Lord of D, another Flute. Grave Robber first editions, Pharaoh's Servant. Maybe we'll take a look at that. Soul Exchange, Card Destruction, Mask of the Accursed, super rare from Legacy of Nightmares, Unlimited. But you know what? Let's just take a look at the first ed, Grave Robber. Anything that's first ed is always going to be worth more because obviously it's first ed, and especially because it comes from the old pack. So honestly, it looks still pretty good considering it's been a while. The centering looks, I would say, okay, pretty good. I think slight ding in the corners, obviously that's gonna hurt the value of the card, but in terms of the card itself, it looks pretty flawless, as you can see from the light there. And then be careful with it. Let's look at the back. A little bit of a puncture here, but I can't tell. There might be a little line here as well. Don't know if that's the lighting, but that might affect it. But I would say it's still like pretty lightly played. I don't know if you'd classify this as near mint. Considering there are just 1 or 2 dings, I would say light play, but still pretty good card. And let me just take a look at this. I know we're already 8 minutes in. Again, this is going to be a very long video because I would honestly just take a look at every card if I could in this video, but I just want to show you guys the ones I think are more special. But yeah, the first edition LON again looks pretty flawless for the most part. The centering again looks pretty decent. The corners, I think better than the first one, but still overall, I don't know. Let's just see what the back. I think this, yeah, actually, I don't know. It looks pretty flawless for the most part. Maybe, I don't know if that's just the card itself, but it just seems like there's a little bit of bumps here. I would feel pretty good about this card. I would think it's probably near mint. The very least, very lightly played. So honestly, some pretty cool stuff. You're seeing some very OG stuff, and I've always wanted to show people kind of the old cards nowadays and just kind of the value and just how much they've gone up incrementally. But you know what? Now we're getting to the very good, beefy part of the video, the ultra rares, and I'm obviously not going to take the time to go through all of them, but just the ones that I remember the most, and just yeah, just kind of reveling in the nostalgia. So we have Ceasefire. Look at that light. Do you see that that light kind of shining in? It's from like the window. That's pretty cool. Mirror Force. I mean, which kid doesn't remember Mirror Force? It would just destroy all your enemies' monsters if they attacked. That's sick. Unlimited. Chain Destruction. That's sick. Spellbinding Circle. I remember Spellbinding Circle, and it's so beautiful. Torrential Tribute, also very beautiful card from Legacy of Nightmare. Magic Jammer. So this is Metal Raiders, and it's first ed. So let's take a look at this in a bit. Dark Necrofear, Unlimited, Legacy of Nightmare. Dark Ruler Hades, I just realized recently when, you know, seeing people open this that it's actually supposed to be Hades, but I guess they put it apart just so that, you know, they didn't, because it's a child's game. So that's cool. Aranai Parshath is a pretty sick card, unlimited. We have Barrel Dragon first edition. We're gonna put this to the side as well. Buster Blader, Red Eyes, and Blue Eyes from starter deck, Kaiba. But so I want to look at these, and I just want to see the condition they're in. I've already kind of looked at these before, but I just kind of want to show you guys. Now, Buster Blader PSA 10 first edition is worth a good chunk of money, and just kind of assessing it, it looks pretty flawless at the top. We have a bit of scuffing in the top. You can see a little bit of the whiting there. That probably will play a bit of a factor, but for the most part, it looks pretty clean. I'm honestly amazed that he was able to keep it in decent condition after all this time. I guess, you know, putting it in sleeves and in a deck box helps for the majority. Let's look at the back here. So the one thing I saw was like the slight puncture marks here and a little scuffing there. So I've never submitted PSA cards before, but that is a big factor here that might definitely bring it down to, I don't know, maybe an 8. I don't know how picky they are with the 8s and the 7s, but I know for sure that this is at least a pretty good card from the front. So I don't know. I mean, I told him that maybe he should get these cards graded at least just to see what they could be worth. But that's Buster Blader first ad from Pharaoh's Servant. Like, I mean, even this card itself, you would have to pay like a couple hundred, in my opinion. I'll go take a look at the editing and see how much this can actually cost. But that's Buster Blader here. Oh, this is so sick. Red Eyes Black Dragon. Oh my goodness. Like, I'm actually so shocked that I'm even holding on to these cards right now at this stage of my Yu-Gi-Oh videos. I honestly thought that, you know, if I'm consistently uploading these, it would maybe in a year or two I could actually get some of these cards. But this is from starter deck Joey. I didn't mention, let me just take a quick look at the centering. I think it looks good too, not too bad. Maybe the right side might be a little bit more, but the Red Eyes looks pretty minty to me. You can see nothing there, looks pretty good. And the centering, I think it looks good. I don't know if I've explained it, those of you who don't really watch Yu-Gi-Oh that much, you know, one of the biggest things they look for is the centering, which is these black borders you see. And like a 10 usually has a pretty symmetrical top versus bottom, left versus right. So as you can see, the left border versus the right, I mean, it looks pretty good to me. And the top and the bottom as well looks pretty good. A little bit of whitening here, but I mean, it's very minimal. Let me just take a look at the back. Be very careful, don't screw this up. Look at that. Honestly, this is the best one out of all his cards that I've seen. It just looks so, like, if I had to, was that maybe a little bit there, but if I had to make a gamble on which card would get the highest rating, this might be one of them. Starter deck Joey, first ed, Red Eyes Black Dragon. So this is one of the good ones to consider. Let's take a look at this one, and maybe I won't take a look at all of them, but I'll go more quickly. It's just I can honestly spend time looking at this forever. The Barrel Dragon, first ed, Metal Raiders. That's so sick, and look at that. It looks so minty. Honestly, in shock at how good condition these were in. And the back. Now, obviously, this one now has a little bit of scuffing in the middle, so this one's not going to be as good as the Red Eyes. Maybe it would be, I don't know if you'd consider this light play. I think everyone's definition is a bit different, but I think that's just the only glaring thing about this is you see scuff marks in the middle. And I don't know if that would warrant it an 8 or a 7, or I don't think a 9. This just, I don't know that you would consider this near mint, so this might be a 7 or an 8, but still, when you see here, there's a little bit of scuff marks here as well, and a little bit more of the indentations here. So still a really nice card that you could sell on its own on eBay. So that's a pretty sexy card. And the Magic Jammer first edition. Okay, you know what? I was gonna be like, let's not look at this. There's some other cards to look at, but you know what? Let's just quickly take a look. That is a little bit minty, but you can see up here a little bit of top damaging right there. So probably a little bit of a corner ding. So this one maybe probably not. I don't think there's really worth degrading, but still pretty sexy card. Ultra rare Magic Jammer, and finally 15 minutes in, let's take a look at the nice card. So I'll just go through them, you know, one by one and just kind of show you. So the first one we have is Summoned Skull limited edition. This came from the Battle Pack tins 2002. I'm sure a lot of you remember, you bought the tins. It was in my videos before, but this is one of them. Now, I don't think the quality of these Summoned Skulls is as good. We can take a look. As you can see, there's the, you know, the bend there, the ding here, and a little bit of indentation there. So oh, and the little puncture mark here. So I probably wouldn't get this graded. Yeah, you can see there are a lot of scuff marks here. So this one, I would very likely say moderate play, but still pretty nostalgic card. Let's continue on. What else do we have? I'm gonna go in reverse order because I feel like I might have done them in very important. So this one, oh, Trihorn Dragon, unlimited. Oh man, if this was first ed, that would have been sick. But Trihorn Dragon, LOB, Legend of Blue Eyes, the very first Yu-Gi-Oh pack ever made. Secret rare. You can see how it just bleeds the picture, not so much, but like, look at that. You see that little shine with the text. The centering looks, I think the top maybe just a little bit too much compared to the bottom, but for the most part, it's pretty minty. Pretty good quality compared to the Summoned Skull. Yeah, looks pretty good, honestly. Oh, the bordering, you can tell here, the left side way more than the right. So, I mean, that's unfortunate, but that does play a little bit of a factor in how they grade the cards. So yeah, I was right. When I look at the border, it just seems to be a little bit off, but that is so sexy. Trihorn Dragon, to even be touching it is just, I'm happy. Oh, push my box there. Let's take a look. Showing a little bit of the outside. Put that back in. The next card, oh baby, Dark Magician, Starter Deck Yugi, first ed. Now this one obviously has some wear and tear. I think one of the most, out of all the cards I've seen. You can see the coloring on the white here. It's probably just the fading away. A little bit of the smudge marks here on the right. Other than that, you know, a little bit of a ding here. So, you know, this one's seen some days. And little dings here, little scratch marks here. So obviously this one probably not minty fresh, but still pretty good considering 12 years of play. That's still a pretty special card. Okay, next card to look at is Metalmorph. So this is from the game. I don't remember what FMR stands for, but I know this came from buying a Game Boy Advance game. You know, the Yu-Gi-Oh games, they always included promotional content. So this is still a pretty sexy card. You can see here there's a bit of a damage there, so that's definitely unfortunate, but still, other than that, pretty minty. And the back looks, you know, maybe there's a bit of scuffing there, but for the most part, it looks pretty good. So yeah, that's Metalmorph. Let me just slide this back in. That's still a sexy card. I'm gonna say sexy a lot because honestly, I'm in such disbelief that he had these cards. The next one is, oh my goodness. I saw this and it blew my mind that he had Jinzo, first ed, Pharaoh Servant. Like, this is such a, like, just a card to remember. Nostalgia from the anime as well. It's just what it does. It negates trap cards. Let's just take a look at this. Now, since I've explained centering, you can already tell. Well, I'll just like hold it up here and you guys can just kind of guess what is wrong. But you can clearly see the right side of the border is not symmetrical to the left. It's very shifted over there to the left. So the borders is an issue. Other than that, it looks, honestly, it looks pretty good. A little bit of a scuff there, but still pretty fresh. Maybe a little bit of ding on the right side. Let's take a look. Now the back was, yeah, you can see there's a lot of scuff marks. It's unfortunate, so probably wouldn't grade this, but would just maybe just keep it in your binder as a collection. But this is honestly such a very nice card just to keep and have. So that's Jinzo. We have 2 cards left. Let's take a look at this one. Harpy's Feather Duster, secret rare, SDD, another Game Boy game, I think. I think it's Game Boy Advance, but in our generation, I think that's kind of where most of the cards come from. But this is fresh. Oh, never mind. There's a little puncture there, but honestly, still so nice. Look at that. Look at that color of the Feather Duster. You know, a little bit of scuffing there, but obviously you can't win them all, and this is still a very nice card. Last card for this video. I don't remember what it is. Let's take a look. Oh, yes, Red Eyes, Black Metal Dragon from FMR. So the same probably pack from, I think, the Metalmorph. Let's take a look at this. See the quality of the card. Oh, so a little bit of a ding there. Other than that, oh man, that's unfortunate. But you know what? Other than that, it looks pretty minty. Let's look at the back. Man, it's pretty. Oh man, it's pretty minty too. Yeah, a little bit of a ding on the corner there, but I think other than that, it looks pretty good. Well, can't win them all. But yeah, so that is the collection that he has. I mean, the fact that he has all of these cards is pretty sick, and I hope you guys can just maybe take a trip down nostalgia lane and just kind of remember all these cards from back in the day. Like, I mean, you remember this, like the very first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Yugi's grandpa kind of pulls this out, and you know, Kaiba rips it up and stuff. But this was like the OG design of Blue Eyes before Legend of Blue Eyes had the other design of the Blue Eyes. But still, honestly, pretty sick collection. I'm very jealous because I don't have any of my cards anymore. But let me know what you guys think, you know, about these cards. Does it bring back a lot of nostalgia for you? Do you wish that you still had your cards? Do you have your cards? And yeah, it'll be interesting just to see in the editing screen just how much these could potentially be. But remember to, you know, subscribe for some additional content, and I think the next videos will be some more future openings. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.